everyone. We are live at day 2 at In Cosmetics, and I am at Mibelle with the head of research of Mibelle, and we are going through deep dive of all what latest Mibelle has to offer. And guess what? We stumbled upon PhytoCellTec Exosome. I know you have heard the word exosome because it's trending everywhere. But do you really understand what exosome means, how it operates, and what it can do for your skin? Well, if you don't, let's understand it together. So tell me more about this wonderful ingredient.
Thank you, Rinki. Hi, everyone. Yes, our new launch is PhytoCellTec Exosomes. The name already says it. The product contains exosomes. Exosomes are a big trend, but most people have heard of the name and they know it's good for your skin, but they have no idea what it is. So maybe to break it down, what is an exosome? An exosome can be understood kind of like a message in a bottle, kind of like a letter that one cell sends to another cell to tell it to do something. And it's a very, very tiny particle, a vesicle. So it has a membrane around, that's kind of like the envelope that protects the message. And it also has the address on there where the message should go. So one cell produces exosomes, sends them out. They travel to another cell. The cell takes up the envelope and reads the message inside. The message can be different molecules ranging from RNA, proteins, lipids, other molecules. It really depends on the message.
Perfect. That's very well explained, I have to say. I see exosome as the tiny mailman. So when you're sending a letter, you need it to go to a certain destination, and that's why you have a tracking number. Well, exosome are the tracked messages for your skin. It needs to go to the correct destination to deliver the best of its kind. If you deliver a message to your neighbor, it's not gonna like he not gonna be happy, she not gonna be happy. So it needs to be delivered to the right address to give the best of effect, and that's why you need exosome in your skincare routine. So let's understand what went behind the research of this exosome. I think Mibelle is one of the pioneers who started this research quite early, before a lot of manufacturers or the raw material suppliers were looking into exosome. It took up exosome before exosome was hot. So
Yes.
what went behind the research?
Yes, so we were actually quite a bit early, but now we're very happy to see the term exosome being a trend and being evolving and that people want to know more about it. And we're very happy to tell about it. So our active ingredient, PhytoCellTec exosome, is based on plant stem cells that come from a goji seedling. And we use our plant stem cell technology to sustainably produce biomass. So you can think of it, we once need just one part of the plant, a fruit or a seedling or a leaf, and we kind of make little cuts in it, put it in the lab, and if the conditions are right, the plant stem cells will grow on indefinitely. So we have plant stem cells growing in the lab for more than 20 years now. We can produce biomass in a very sustainable way because we don't need to cut down trees, or we don't need to use any pesticides on the field. We need much less water. So it's a very nice, sustainable biotechnology.
Of course, Mibelle is one of the pioneers of biotechnology, and what it does is like you are not dependent on a harvest circle, on a crop circle. You do not have seasonality like issues in terms of like having a supply fluctuations. You can have the batch to batch consistency in all the raw materials across, and that's what I like about Mibelle, the true pioneers of biotechnology so far. So, PhytoCellTec Exosome. Let's understand what are the top clinicals that went behind this wonderful ingredient.
Yes, that's a good point, because in the end, it really needs to work in a cream. Maybe I can tell quickly the mechanism, because I already mentioned PhytoCellTec exosomes does contain exosomes, so our plant stem cells produce exosomes. But there's another part to the mechanism. It's really twofold. On one hand, we have plant exosomes we can put on the skin that has a nice effect on the skin barrier. But our plant stem cells also tell our skin stem cells to produce more of their own exosomes. So it's really like an effect inside on the skin, and that's what makes this ingredient special. Not just exosomes from the outside, but also boosting exosome production from the inside. Just more exosomes. What does it mean? These exosomes communicate with the fibroblasts in our skin. Those are the cells in the dermis that produce collagen and elastin. And actually, the exosomes that are produced tell fibroblasts, hey, produce more collagen, produce more elastin. And that in the clinicals leads to a lifting effect. So we see a very nice effect on the V shape of the face. The jawline is lifted. We also did a body care study on breast lifting. We also saw a very nice effect there. And just in general, the skin is really tightened. There's more skin firmness and more skin elasticity that comes from the boosting of the collagen and the elastin.
Perfect. No, that's really wonderful and really, really strong clinically driven claims. I feel these are like the target messengers who empowers your skin's own cells, telling them, signaling them, go produce more of these proteins, more of these bioactives, more of these lipids, which are beneficial. And I understand it has its own like phospholipid layer, which helps definitely for a better penetration.
Yes.
So tell me more about like how this technology is actually making all the good ingredient or skin beneficial ingredient much more bioavailable.
Yes, that's a good point. So we grow all our plant stem cells in our lab. They're in liquid culture. In the end, we do an extract of those plant stem cells, and then we add lecithin to it. Lecithin are the phospholipids that encapsulate the plant material that help it to penetrate better into the skin. And in the end, we spray granulate it onto isomalt. So the resulting ingredient is a powder ingredient for better stability and shelf life, and it contains no preservatives.
Well, that's really wonderful because storage is an issue. Temperature control storage across all the manufacturing unit is always an issue. I know I have like faced issues in many of them. So I think like having that option is like truly phenomenal. What is the recommended percentage of use in a formula?
And so we performed all our clinical studies with 0.4% of PhytoCellTec exosomes. So that's also what we recommend to use.
So we are talking about PhytoCellTec Exosome. Well, my channel is Inky with Rinki, so I have to ask, what is the Inky?
Yes, so the Inky of PhytoCellTec exosome is Lycium barbarum callus culture extract. So Lycium barbarum is goji. So as I said, it's based on goji stem cells. And it also contains lecithin, that's part of the Inky for better penetration, and isomalt because it's spray granulated on isomalt.
Well, there you go. Now you know these ingredients need to be your next big innovation if you want to be the forefront of true innovation in the scientific world. Thank you for tuning in, and we will know more in the next episode. Thank you.
Thank you.